Hello students. Today's topic is if else and nested if statement in C. So we will discuss these two statements, first if else and then nested if statement in C. So if else statement. As in my previous lecture we have discussed about if statement. What is if statement? For example, if today is rain, take umbrella with you. That is the if statement. If today is no rain, then we don't care if you take umbrella with you or not. It does not matter. So if statement is if today is rain, take umbrella with you. So in if else statement we have to take care the other statement also, that is if today is rain, take umbrella with you, otherwise don't take umbrella with you. So this is the else part. If today is no rain, then don't take umbrella with you. So this is sometimes called a two-way selection, because two different types of action can be performed by taking decision on one condition. So in one condition we can take two decisions. In if statement we have to take only one decision. For example, if the condition is true, then take the decision, otherwise we don't care about the program. So in if else condition we have to take two decisions. For example, if condition is true, then take this decision, otherwise take this that decision. So this is sometimes called a two-way selection, because two different types of actions can be followed by taking decision on one condition. So this is used to decide whether to do something at a special point or to decide between two course of actions. So if else statement is used to decide among two possible conditions. So we will have to decide between, when we have to decide between two possible conditions, we use if else statement. So this is the flow chart of the if else statement. This is condition. If condition is true, then execute this piece of code, and if the condition is false, then execute this piece of code, and then the next code. So here we have written uh, two blocks, one block here and one block here. So if condition is true, then this block will be executed and this block will not be executed, and if condition is false, then this block will be executed and this block will not be executed. So syntax: if condition, so if condition is true, then block of end statement, these end statements will be executed, and if this condition is false, then control directory goes to else part and block of m statements will be executed. The result of the if the result of the condition is true, then the block of end statements is executed, and if the result of the condition is false, then the program control jumps on else part and block of m statement is executed. So uh, if condition is true, then block of n statement is executed, and if the condition is false, then program directly jumps to the else part and the block of m statements will be executed. So after this, the rest of the program continues now. So after this, the rest program will continue normally. If condition is true or false, this will be executed, and then control goes directly after this bracket. If condition is false, then this will be executed and the control goes after this braces. So the following tests decide whether a student has passed an exam with a pass marks of 45. For example, an exam have 45% of marks. For passing an exam, a student needs 45% of marks. So if result is greater than equal to 45, uh, print pass. And if this is not true, it means if the result is less than 45, then fail. So we have written a greater than equal to either 45 or more than 45, then student is pass, and we will printf will print pass here. Otherwise means if student has less than 45%, then fail will got printed, and printf prints fail. So if you wish to have more than one statement following the if or the else, then they should be grouped together between curly braces. Such a grouping is called as compound statement or a block. So for example, we have more than one statement. Here we have only one statement after if and else. So we do not require parentheses here. But if you have more than one statement, for example here, if result is greater than 45, we have two statements here. So we require parentheses. Curly braces start, pass, and congratulations, and close, and else if this is false, then fail and better luck next time. So in a two selection statement, putting the semicolon, if you say after the condition statement followed by the keyword result in syntax is syntax error. For example, if you put semicolon here, this will be a syntax error, and the syntax error is misplaced else, because every else requires a if. If this got closed here, then this else don't have any if, so this error is called misplaced else. So this happens because when we put semicolon after the condition statement followed by if, else will no longer remain the part of if block, and we can say that there is no if condition and else part of the if else statement no exist at its own. So for example, if put semicolon, so if this else will be treated as a as only there is only else and no if. So but there is no stand-alone else statement defined in the compiler, hence the error misplaced else occurred. So we don't have a stand-alone else in the compiler, so every else requires a if. So if you put semicolon, it will act as this else is a standalone, and it does not have if, so this error will occur, misplaced else error will occur. Let's discuss a program. For example, uh, I have included two header files, standard input.output.h and console input.h. So I have taken a integer variable num, enter a number. So we have entered a number here. For example, we have entered 65. So 65, yeah, yes. So 65 mod 2 is not equal to 0, because what is a mod? This is modulus operator. It will determine the remainder of, for example, 65 mod 2 means 65, the remainder 65 mod 2 remainder will be 1. So this condition is false, control goes in the else part, and 65 is odd, got printed. So 65 is odd, this will got printed. If we again run the program, and for example we have entered 64, so 64 mod 2 is 0, so this part got executed. So 64 is even got printed here. So in the first run, when you enter 65, this condition is false, control goes to else part. So this condition is true, this condition will be executed. So %d num, value of num is 65, 65 is odd got printed. When you run again this program, and when you enter 64 or 60 or 62, here I have taken 64, so 64 mod 2 is 0. So this condition is true, so control goes here, and num is 64 is even. This is how if else statement works. So now we have nested if statement. Nested if statement means when you have a if statement inside another if statement. So for example, there can be nesting of if within if or else statement. So we have to use if statement in the if statement or in the else part. In this case, if the result of the outer if statement is true, only then the inner if statement is repeated. So if the upper if is true, then only the control goes to the inner if statement and it checks whether it is true or false. The nesting of this statement is not limited to any extent, but decided by the logic of the program. So it is not limited that you have to use one if inside another if, or you can use another if inside that if, and so on. So nested if can be used in any of the possible ways. So we can use any number of times the nesting of if statement as the program requires. So syntax of if nested if is, if this condition is true, then second condition will be checked, and if this condition is true, then this block will be executed, and if this condition is false, then control goes to else part, and condition 3 will be checked. And if this condition is true, then condition 4 will be checked, and if this condition is true, then this block will be executed. So this is the general syntax of the nesting of if statement. If this condition 1 is true, then only condition 2 will be checked, and if this condition 2 will be true, then this will. So for executing this block of statement, we require condition 1 and condition 2 be true, and if the first condition is false, then this condition will not be checked. Control directly goes to the if part, and it will check condition 3, and if condition 3 is true, then it will check condition 4, and if condition 4 is true, then this block will be. So for execution of this block, we require condition 4 true, condition 3 true, but condition 1 false. This is a general syntax. So this is a and this is a flow chart. For example, we have to find greatest among three numbers. We have three numbers a, b, and c. First, we will compare a with b. If a is greater than b, then we compare a with c, and if a is greater than c, then or a is greatest. Otherwise, c is greatest. And if this condition is false, it means a is not greater than greater than b. Then we check b with c, and if b is greater than c, then b is greater, otherwise c is greater, and stop. So this is a program for finding greatest among three numbers. So here I have included header files, standard info.h, console info.h. I have taken four integer variables s, x, y, and z. So enter value of, we have to enter the value of three variables x, y, and z. Enter the value of x, y, and z. So %d, %x, %d, %y, %d. I have combined all the variables here. If x is greater than y, then compare x with z. If x is greater than z, it means x is greater, %d is x is greater, else z is greater. If this condition is false, then control goes in the else part, and if we will compare now y with z. If y is greater than z, then y is greater, otherwise z is greater. So we'll take example. In the first one, for example, I have entered value of x equal to 1, y equal to 2, and z equal to 3. So first I have to compare 1 with 2. So this is false, it will goes in the else part. So now we have to compare 2 with 3. So this is again false, control goes to else part. So 3, z is 3, 3 is greater, so 3 is greater got printed. In the second run, for example, I have entered x equal to 60, y equal to 100, and z equal to 40. So first I have to compare 60 with 100. 60 with 100, this condition is false, control goes in the else part. Now I have to compare 100 with 40. So 100 with 40, this condition is true. So 100, y is 100 is greater, got printed. So in the third run, for example, I have taken x equal to 100, y equal to 40, and z equal to 90. So first I have to compare x with y. So x is 100. If x is greater than y, so this is true, then I have to compare 100 is greater than 40. This is true, then I have to compare 100 with 90. So 100 is greater, so this will got printed. The value of x is 100. 100 is greater, so this is got printed. So this is how we can compare three numbers using nested if-else statement. So this is what I have today: if-else statement and nested if-else statement. In if-else statement, we have two conditions. If condition is true, then we have two results, do something, and if condition is false, then we have to do some other thing. And in nested if-else, we have to insert if-else statement inside or upper if-else, and we can insert as many if-else as we require. So example of this program, this nested if-else is when we have to find greater among three numbers. That's what I have today. Thank you.